You are listening to Charting Cryptos, Commodities, and Currencies. Let's jump into this week's charts. We'll start, as we always do, with Bitcoin. We see all the cryptocurrencies, most all of them, up for the day. Bitcoin being the most up, I see at a glance here, 4.70%. Now, of course, we had the big down week starting the 5th of August, where Bitcoin just crashed hard in 1 week. Recovered from some the next week, didn't go as low as what I mean. Then a green spinning top, then a doji on the 26th, the week beginning the 26th of August. Then 2 weeks ago on the 2nd, another big down candle at 2nd of September. Last week a spinning top. This week a green up candle. This is the 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin chart, not the ETF that we track on a daily basis. As we look at things now, trying to push above, not much of a trend line here. We have a green candle for the week. Had decent, with the doji last week, we had decent volume, just a little bit below average. Of course, our highest volume lately has been that big down week where Bitcoin crashed hard. Again, August the 5th was the bloodletting week. And where we see things right now, 2 days into this week, volume's not doing anything super fancy, nor is it on the half day, on the 2 day. On the half day, up strong around the 9 a.m. And I say half day, I'm sorry, this is the 24-hour-a-day chart, so it's 195 minutes. Strong around the 9 a.m. mark on Tuesday, not reaching as high as it did in the morning. In the afternoon, nonetheless up 4.76%. What are we waiting for? Well, I'm hoping that all of this downward momentum will bleed off with nice high volume, finding a good bottom, and with a nice red down candle with a wick on the bottom, no wick on top, and then our classic turnaround with a green spinning top with average or higher than average volume, so we can jump into Bitcoin and ride the next up move. Otherwise, in these herky-jerky patterns, we're not going to make much progress. Let's move on from Bitcoin to Ethereum. Seeing a red down candle for the week again, not reaching the low that we saw going back to September the 2nd or even further back to August the 5th. Now the low that week, September, that began September the 2nd, 2 weeks ago now going into 3, the low was 2150. Now, 2112 was the low of lows here lately, our interim low. That was back on August the 5th. So again, Ethereum, a lot more downward push and momentum. It is up for the day 2.75%. We can see where the 195-minute chart has been tracking and gaining power again. Like Bitcoin, popped up strong in the morning, bled some of that off in the afternoon, but still decent volume. Great in the morning, average in the afternoon. We see the first day of the latest 2-day candle, maybe about halfway there. 2 days into the 5-day candle, maybe it's going to make for average volume, which it got last week and 2 weeks before that, the week beginning the 26th of August. So again, lots more downward pressure on Ethereum. We'll continue to watch it. And again, hoping for a classic turnaround sign that will help us out. Now, let's move from Bitcoin and Ethereum to Bitwise. That is top 10 crypto index fund. It is, again, weighted as per market share with the top 10 cryptocurrencies, the top 2 being, of course, Bitcoin, followed by Ethereum. Then the others, it is still stroking down quite consistently. It is up for the day 3.85%. Haven't penetrated that weekly trend line yet. We've seen green candles here previously back on the 9th of September. So again, sort of keep an eye on it, see if maybe it's bottoming out. But again, the prior low last week was 2687. This week, 26. So again, reaching a lower low. And of course, we can see that the low back on that bloody week of the 5th of August for cryptocurrencies was 27.11, so we are even below that here. So again, lots of downward pressure overall on the cryptocurrencies as weighted per market share. So that's interesting to see, interesting to know. That's why we cover that for you each and every week. Let's move on to some commodities. Where do we see sugarcane? Sugarcane ambivalent last week, not a lot of volume, a red doji. And then, of course, this week moving up, we're almost up to average. Look at that strong movement just on Tuesday. And you can see that was all in the afternoon on Tuesday. So we see sugar moving up strong. Corn trying to track its way up. Now, again, corn turned around and popped up strong. Not the kind of candle we like starting things off. Why? If you have a candle with no movement on the bottom, decent size with about the same kind of movement in the wick, invariably you have this kind of pattern that starts off. It pops up strong, the next week not as strong, the next week so far not as strong. Can it take off? Yes, but it always seems to be so much riskier. And also we ended the down move on what? 2 red spinning tops. You want good, strong red down candles with a wick on the bottom where the market really, really taps the low. I'm just giving an example of this candle. Not that it was a turnaround candle or anything, but what we see, the candle going back to the week of the 24th of June. It's just a nice big red down candle with average volume. Then if that's followed by a green spinning top, that is typically the most beautiful sign for a turnaround. So corn trying to edge its way up. Let's move from corn to copper. What do we see going on with copper? Well, it went up for 2 weeks, then dropped over, trying to go up again. I don't feel like trading that. That's too sloppy for me. Silver. Now, of course, silver dropped off hard starting the 15th of July for starting the turnaround on a red spinning top and then down for 3 weeks. Then a green spinning top moving over up for 3 weeks. Then a big pullback week on September the 3rd. And now it's tried to start off again. It didn't give us an interim low. It didn't give us average volume when things spun around last week. And again, the high last week was 28.21. The high so far this week, 26.52. Last week, 28.21, 28.29. Forgive me, I am a little bit nearsighted. So 28.21 last week, 28.29 this week. So it has gone a little bit higher. Now, wheat. What do we see going on with wheat? And I'm sorry if you can hear the damn weed eater, whatever that is. I think the guy's cutting my hedges. I apologize for that. We'll just deal with it. What do we see going on here with wheat? It's down a little bit for the day. Saw things pop up yesterday. Let's see. We saw things pop up on Friday and then move over heading down yesterday. And today we have 3 candles trying to inch their way up. We had things bottom back on the 26th, the week beginning 27th of August. And then heading up since then, or at least trying to do so. Doesn't look like wheat is actually taking off. Now, lastly, we will go to our from our cryptocurrencies to our commodities, to our real currencies. Take a look at the British pound. Again, we saw the pound bottom and start heading up. It bottomed on the week beginning the 5th of August, of course, when we saw cryptocurrencies really trounced down, and then turned around, started to head up on the 12th of August, bamming up on the 19th. Not quite, well, let's see. The high was 127.01 on the week beginning the 19th. That next week, 127.36. So it did go a little higher. Then it started blowing off its energy starting the 3rd of September. Then we had a pitiful doji last week with lots and lots of volume. And then this week, darn if it doesn't turn back around going up. Doesn't give us much hope for effectively trading the British pound with that kind of chart. And again, if you don't have a chart that works, you don't trade it. What do we have happen with the euro? Somewhat similar. We saw it pounding up on the week beginning the 19th of August. Well, that's when it really shot through the roof with high volume. Then it started losing it the next week, the week after, and of course last week the red doji, and this week trying to move up again, down for the day a little bit. In fact, all the currencies are down for the day. But check out the Japanese yen. What is it up to? Well, ever since it bottomed and then took off with a green spinning top, it popped up strong, particularly that week beginning August the 5th when everything else seemed to be crumbling. And then, of course, the Japanese increased their interest rate. And then what happened? Well, it burned off a fair bit of its energy, going down to about half the candle of the week before, but then has slowly just kept gaining. And again, last week, the high, 65.86. This week, 65.88, so 2 cents higher than last week. Now, it is pulling back strong for the day, 0.85%, so we'll keep an eye on that. But again, just see the yen keep moving up, much to the chagrin, I am sure, of the Bank of Japan. So we'll continue to keep an eye on all these things. So appreciate you being with us. Always love to hear from you. CW@chartingwealth.com. If you have any questions, reach out to us. God bless. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.